So we went down to the basement where he has a studio and, what did you say, a plethora of paintings?
Paintings, yeah.
And so I immediately lost connection down there. So apparently their basement is the black hole of the universe, and I had no internet connection. So we came back up after we did a lot of video, and I'm going to put that on my Facebook page. I'm going to make it public as well as this video, and you'll be able to see like 95% of your work down there.
Yeah, just about. We pretty near covered most of the paintings that are here anyway.
The different scenes, the different style, that sort of thing.
You cut that still life in the fireplace. I think that would look nice on if you were able to catch that.
I know.
Underneath it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I did or not. You stay there. I'm going to go over here. And this is one of his paintings, still life. And so he's Italian by heritage. So there's the wine bottle and there's the little bird. Is that sort of paying homage to Nono, the little canary?
Yeah, he always had to have a canary.
He always had a bird, right?
Yeah, I'm amazed you remember that. He always had to have a canary.
I remember it.
So he'd let them out every once in a while. He'd let them out of the cage to exercise their wings. That's one of many. One of many canaries that he used to own.
Right, right. And he would talk to them.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was...
He'd talk to them. I remember when he was tending to the flowers, out, all the flowers that they had out there on the walkway on Newton Street.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he would talk to the ant and say, in Italian, move out of the way. They're going to step on you.
Yeah, he had a lot of respect for wildlife and animals.
He did.
But in fact, my interests were, birds are a very popular subject for me. I like to paint, and I think I got my interest in wildlife because of his pointing things out to me when I was, when I was very, very young.
It stuck with you.
And wildlife is one of the interests that I have besides the still life. What you've seen, you've samples of still life work and wildlife work, both.
So there are a lot of people that do watercolors, and they'll paint a tree, and it'll be like watercolors, greens and different shades of green and the bark and all that. But you actually, I'm looking outside right now, and I see all I call them bristles, those on the pine tree out there. Is that a pine or a spruce, or what is that?
That's a pine tree there.
And so you would paint all the details of the tree, where somebody else just might, throw some watercolor.
Well, as I say, that's one of the motivating factors in painting is to try to depict the detail that most people that we miss in nature. Sometimes these nuances are not noticed, and doing these nature paintings, you can put them all together so that they become dominant in your vision. You see them.
But you understand what I'm saying. There are a lot of artists that don't do the detail that you do.
Yeah, and they're objects, because in painting, it's the way light. One of the challenge of painting is to show how light and shadow work on a two-dimensional surface to make it look three-dimensional. And that's where the challenge of still life painting comes in. But that same principle goes into all forms of painting, whether you're doing portraiture, still life, or landscapes. Again, in the naturalistic and the realistic approach, in that vein, that approach to painting.
So
if you're doing abstract painting, you don't have to pay attention to all of that.
I don't get much out of an abstract.
Well, abstract painting is just what the word itself says. It's abstract, and you can find different meaning in the design symbolism that's contained in each painting.
Mm-hmm.
There's different meaning. I mean, there's a difference if you see Picasso's Guernica, and if you see some of the portraits, you know, of the portrait artists like Rembrandt and many others, and so there is nothing further.
Yeah, well, it's a night and day difference. But what, and I never asked you this, ever, what first inspired you to paint? Because, you know, you didn't get that from Nana or Nono, but what inspired you? Way back, like...
Well, actually, what I'll tell you, the first inspirational aspect of that affected me, motivated me, was a sketch, a drawing that I saw your grandfather Nono make on a brown paper bag one day. We were sitting at the table, and he was copying a picture from a food product, on a Facebook product, on a brown paper bag. And I said, boy, that looks like a lot of fun. And this was before
He was
I went to
actually
school.
drawing
On a brown paper bag.
on
yeah.
a brown paper bag,
That's correct, yeah.
what he saw, whatever
Yeah.
he was looking at.
And so looking at that,
I
I
never
think
knew
I would
this.
try that myself.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then when you combine that with his, as we said earlier, his interest in canaries, he always had to have a canary in a cage. I used to do pictures of the canary. And then that led to other birds. And then
And how old were you then?
Well, I might have been probably 5 or 6 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that story. Did you know that, Auntie? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Really? I never knew that. Wow. Well,
So from then on, I, as you know, as you grow, as I say, you want to express yourself in some medium, and I chose the medium of painting and sketching and drawing, and it goes through phases. Different points in life, you focus in on different things. That's why there's such a diversity in the subjects.
I know.
What you've seen.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
but you'll notice that not only in the medium of painting of a single person, but you'll notice that in other mediums like television itself. Look at television itself. You'll find in television the phases it's gone through in the popularity of certain objects, certain type of programming. There were times when this is, of course, does not include the news, but there were times.
Oh, yes, it does.
When the programming. You know, the news has to depict what's going on currently around
Yeah.
the world
Yeah.
and in the community. But the programming for entertainment programming, you remember when they were all Westerns, at one time the Westerns were very popular. And that was when they had all
The
shows.
Lone Ranger and...
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was in radio.
Yeah.
And then later
Well,
on,
no,
you
on
had
TV,
a lot
yeah.
of hospital doctor shows.
Yeah.
Doctor shows, it was Western. Then you had a lot of hospital shows. A lot of shows with Marcus Welby and all the doctors.
And then all the reality
doctor-
shows came along.
Doctor shows for a long period of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Then came the family shows. That was begun with All in the Family. That just kicked off an interest in family shows.
Yeah.
And you had the All in the Family, you had the Jeffersons.
Right.
You had a number of family shows.
Isn't it funny though, like the Jeffersons and All in the Family and all that was actually broadcast? Try to do that today.
Yeah.
It would be, I mean, there would be people demonstrating.
All over the place.
Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Everything.
Francesco Graceffa. Yeah. How do you say good afternoon in Italian?
Why is that?
Because we're live on Facebook. We're doing Facebook Live.
Yeah, but why the name Francesco Grossefa? How does that?
Because he's watching. He's watching right now.
No, I'm not. I don't understand.
We're live on Facebook,
Yes.
and Mercedes Burrell is now watching.
Yeah. That's Francesco.
It's all new to my uncle.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've done this before, but he's still fascinated.
Well, I
it's
have
like
to admit my
looking at
ignorance
fire
of
for the first
some
time.
of the aspects of this new
I
electronic.
know. I can't figure it out sometimes. I can't. Yeah. I had a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Because I had a close friend named Grossefa, who's now deceased, Stephen Grossefa, Stefano Grossefa.
yeah.
And I don't know if there was some connection between Francesco and Stephen.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
That
know.
was a prominent family in the city.
In
you know.
Waltham. Yeah. The Grossefas. Well, John Grossefa was my classmate.
Yeah.
John Grossefa.
I don't know why that name
His
came up.
wonderful mother, Mary Grossefa, she lived to be like 100.
Really?
That's right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Grossefa, what an
Yeah, I think
elegant
she was
lady.
related to former clerk of court, Charlie Grossefa.
Charlie Grossefa.
From the
Yep,
court.
yep.
Yeah, it was a large family in Waltham, the Grossefas.
Yeah. So, again, the reason why I wanted to do this with you, and this is in two parts because we went live a little while ago before we went downstairs, and my intention was to keep going live when we were down in the basement, but when we went down there, we lost the connection
Yeah.
because the cell connection must be weak in the basement. So I shot video of all the paintings, and I'm going to put them on Facebook. I'm going to make it go public, and so my friends and the public can see it, along with the 2 live interviews that we did. And I want to come back and talk about Waltham. When I come back, let's talk about Waltham.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember a few years ago we did Facebook Live, and the things that you guys remember from Waltham, like growing up. You told me about when you and your friend walked the railroad tracks down on Newton Street, and you walked all the way to another city with like your little shotguns or something. You had what, a shotgun?
Well, those were the days when we were crazy enough to go hunting. We'd walk up to Western Wales and those areas that were open to.
And how old were you?
hunting. And in those days, I was probably my late teens, early 20s.
How did you get a
Because-
shotgun?
Well, we had on Western Mass, there used to be a quarry, Stone Quarry, where you could do target shooting there. And that's what we ended up doing mostly, rather than going after the poor animals. And we did some target shooting there in Western, and that was only very short.
But how did you
that
get
was
a
a brief
gun?
period in
How
my
did you
time.
get a gun?
Uh,
At that age?
At that time, if you had
It's
a
like
parent,
the Wild West.
Sears Roebuck. Remember, Sears Roebuck used to be next to the Embassy Theater,
I remember that.
and they had a large display of outdoor sporting equipment.
Right.
Sears Roebuck, and in those days, in my neighborhood, especially living in the city, it was prestigious to have sporting equipment of any kind,
Yeah.
whether it was fishing equipment, especially fishing equipment.
You were like the cool kid if you had that.
Yeah, we were the cool kid, and of course, hunting was an outdoor sport at that time. But I did that very briefly.
And how old
I
were
was
you?
not interesting.
How old were
I was in my late teens, early 20s.
When you had the gun?
That was a very
When
brief,
you went-
very brief
Okay.
period.
All right. I thought you were younger.
No,
So-
but fishing was where I spent most money.
Oh, yeah.
That on fishing tackle.
Yeah.
That's where most money and the Sears Roebuck was the place you went for your tackle,
Right.
your fishing tackle.
Right.
And,
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Those were the days, and we're going to do this again in the not so distant future. And we're going to talk about how it was growing up. I mean, I remember on like Friday or Saturday night sitting with my mom and dad on your porch, and we're eating the little periwinkles, those little
Oh, yeah.
snails
Yeah.
with the garlic and olive oil. And they were steamed.
Yeah.
Babaluch? Is it
Yeah.
babaluch?
That was a Sicilian
The Sicilian,
dialect
yeah.
term for these snails.
Francesco would probably know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
he would
we
definitely know that.
would take out the little snails and the stuff I ate when I was young and I didn't know what it was. The stuff I ate.
That you wouldn't even look at
I
today.
wouldn't even look at it today. No.
Well, I would. Those were ethnic foods. You know, there are people with certain ethnic backgrounds that ate those type, like squid. It was
Right.
unknown. Now it's very popular in restaurants. It's calamari. You call calamari in restaurants. At that time, it was only eaten at home. Family used to buy it, and certain specialty stores that were established for the needs of these ethnic people that were looking for the same foods
Right.
that they had from wherever they came
gonna-
from.
It's telling me